Welcome to this quick review of the weapon banner for the Thundering Pulse and the Summit Shaper. Now first of all, let's talk about the banner itself. This is the most basic form of a weapon banner in Genshin Impact. We have one great weapon, that's the Thundering Pulse, which is best in class for the DPS bows, for a character like YOIMIYA. And then there's the Summit Shaper, which is quite a mediocre or mid weapon, and just this big stat stick, while not really being best in class for any characters. And that makes this the basic form of a weapon banner. One amazing weapon and one mid 5-star, so that you only have a 35% of getting what you really want. Now first off, let's talk about the Thundering Pulse. Now holy moly, that's a lot of stat. You get 5-star attack, including the fact that you get between 20 and 40% attack just for having the bow equipped. And then it comes with another 66% crit damage. AKA, just having this bow on your character already increases their attack stats and all their offensive stats by a ton. And then there's the effect. So the effect is really custom made for a character like YOIMIYA, where you need to have cast your elemental skill to gain a stack, attack with your basic attacks, and not have your ult at a 100% energy rate. Other characters like Tartaglia can also really profit from this kind of bow, where they get this huge damage increase and also can easily proc all 3 of the stacks by not having their ult, basic attacking and casting their elemental skill every 10 seconds. The Thundering Pulse is straight best in slot for YOIMIYA. The only competition here is the Polestar, which is also great on YOIMIYA, but the Thundering Pulse definitely takes the cake for highest amount of damage on a 5-star bow for YOIMIYA. So if you really want to stack out your YOIMIYA and that's all you care about, the Thundering Pulse is the best weapon you can put on her. But there are definitely some great 4-star options for YOIMIYA as well. If we're talking about weapons like the Rust, they also sync really well with how YOIMIYA works, and you don't really need to wail for it, making it a viable 4-star option, which definitely is a lot cheaper in the Primogen. And next up there is the Summit Shaper. Now the name of the game with this sword and most of the geo-themed weapons is Stat Stick, where you get a large amount of attack for it being a 5-star weapon, and you get a large amount of attack from its attack substat, and then you get a passive that is kinda meh. The Summit Shaper requires your character to be shielded, and when you hit an enemy, you gain attack stacks. These stacks cause you to hit harder because you get more attack percent, and in general this effect is alright, but not outstanding. You also need a shield for the effect to double, which is nice for you when you're using Zhongli, etc. But in general is a bit of a unfortunate class on the weapon, as its passive is already not that impressive. The Summit Shaper is just a big DPS stick. It's an improvement over most of the 4-star swords, but it's not an exquisite 5-star sword by any means, and there's a lot of better options out there. If you pull this, you can definitely use it on someone like Bennett to get a higher amount of base attack compared to the 4-star swords, and it can be used on most of the sword users to definitely just get more attack. But that doesn't make any characters outstanding and probably will only increase your damage by a percentage of 10 or 15 to 20. And thus I would not recommend pulling this banner for the Summit Shaper, and I will give it it's an alright upgrade if you accidentally get it instead of the Thundering Pulse. It's not the worst weapon out there, it's just not quite the best at anything. It's kind of the same tier as the Skyward Blade, and unfortunately it's just one of the least desirable 5-star swords, as there's so many good ones in the Mist Splitter, and the Freedom Sworn for Kazuha, and the Jade Cutter. If you accidentally get this, it's alright, but in general, it's kinda meh. So, what do I think of this weapon banner? Well, I honestly think you shouldn't pull on this weapon banner, unless you are planning to main YOIMIYA for the rest of your Genshin days, and you really want her to be able to hit hard and bring her up to a very high floor with the Thundering Pulse. With Sumeru upcoming on the next following patch, I would recommend saving your Primogems and not pulling on this weapon banner, and that is my advice for this weapon banner. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you later.